Hey, welcome back to your future hand. My name is Julian. We are about to get into it, wrapping up the day. What happened in Bitcoin crash? They're going to tell you it was a crash, but I mean, a couple percent after 160 is not so much of a crash, if you ask me. I am just going to get my headphones going. I think I got some music going here for you guys, so it gives me a minute or two to get comfortable, see if anybody wants to chat. We got Marty Boggs from Shirley Sound Studios, our moderator, in the chat this evening. Let's see if we get anybody else coming in this evening. Yeah, Elizabeth Warren wants to stop crypto. Yeah. They all want to stop crypto. Everybody wants to stop crypto. It's dangerous. It harbors all the criminals and the human traffickers and the people getting weapons from A to B and all their money and their things like that. And that's just not the case, you know? It's just not the case. It looks like my screen's loading. Hopefully the video is coming through solid for you guys. It says it's a little sketchy on my end. Hopefully it's not too bad. Let me know over there, Marty. Hopefully our audio is good and hopefully we are good to go. We are new to the streams, but we are gonna keep at it. I'm just gonna turn the music so I can hear it too, because I just like that. You know what I mean? Just like to have a little jam. Everything is good. All right. I should probably get the notifications. Oh no, they're on the right window. How come I don't hear tunes? It's weird. I don't get any playback from the tunes on my end. Too bad, so sad. Too bad, so sad. No tunes for me. No tunes. Too bad. Music could go up. Excellent. So we'll keep it. It's there though. Yeah, I don't hear it. It's weird. Last week I had the music coming through on my headphones as well. No problem, but it seems to be running in the stream today. But anyway, it's all good. So we hit a high, $44,800, whatever it was. We're just slightly retesting the 61.8% fib level here. You can see things haven't really gotten too crazy. And really, people say a crash, but I mean, you know, dropping from 44 to 40K, $4,000 is nothing after coming from 15K. So the bottom was $15,400 in November, which we called here in the beginning of October on your future hand, you know. And now we're above the 61.8% fib. Like I said, I didn't really like that we didn't have a retest, and you can see that this thing now is kind of trickling back down. We don't want to see a lot of wick to the bottom. So let's see where the candle closed. This, to me, that looks good. So we came down and closed the day at $41,200, under $41,200. So this tells me that, you know, maybe this gets a little rebound in green, but I'd like to see this actually come and settle back down at this red line of resistance. You know, this is only the channel from this year. It's not a super significant line, but if we come down to the white line, which is the 0.618, the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level of the 2022 bear trend, then I think we're going to be, you know, looking pretty good if we stay above that. Now, below that, of course, we're just going to keep dropping levels. You know, people think I look too far or zoom out too much, but I mean, it's been playing the levels of Fibonacci's on all these charts, bang on, no problem. And I've been able to make calls as such based on the levels of the RSI. You know, so, you know, if we trickle down, like I said, I want to stay above I want to stay above the 39,500 level. I'd like to stay above the 39,500 level. You can see right now, just on the daily, we are retesting the 60% RSI. It looks like we're going to retest the 60% RSI here as resistance and then come back down. And if we, we can kind of get a tell, and I told you guys here too the other day on the live, this is starting to look like distribution patterns. This is a distribution pattern. Sure enough, this thing, the 4 hours was going to be our first tell of this thing rolling over. Sure enough, it dumped, retested the 60 and went all the way down to 25% RSI, which is what we want to see, because we said this coming so long, this bull run coming so long this year, getting 100%, 60% gain in this year. Now we've only got a couple of months before the halving, so we have to settle these indicators back down. We didn't really chop around. We got to kind of, we don't have time to chop around. I mean, so now we've dumped it out on the 4 hour. I told you guys the 4 hour would be the first sign of this thing, looking like a distribution pattern here. Sure enough, we got the bearish divergence at the top, retest, breakdown, retest, breakdown. Okay. So I'm expecting to see that on the daily now as well. Breakdown, bearish divergence, breakdown. We're now retesting the 60, and a good chance that this thing dumps all the way, and that'll actually probably go right through 39.5, because I'd love to see 33k, and that to me 32.8, 32.7, and that somewhere in that range if we dump as hard as the 4 hour just did on the daily. At least a 37.5. 37.5 seems pretty reasonable. What's he got to say here? Looks pretty good. So funny how the news is following the charts. That's how they justify it, trying to pretend they have control with the narrative. Yeah, and the narrative is starting to slip away. So they used to have control, and the narrative, they used to have control, kind of be able to be ahead of the game and steer where things were going to go with the narrative. And I feel like they're losing that grip with the innovation of cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin, of course, being the strongest, right? Bitcoin's worth over $1 trillion right now, and that's a top 10 asset. That, I mean, like, it's just insane for something to do that so quickly. You know what I mean? And it is going to change the narrative. Bitcoin is going to change the narrative in that way too. And they didn't really have a choice this year but to continue to push it up, because like 15k was the floor. There's no way that they're going to get it back down there. So anybody who thinks the 18k and 20k or 12k is coming is just out their freaking mind. But to think this thing could go to 33, that to me seems reasonable. So we've broke the resistance of the previous bull run support, which was the previous bull run, so the 2017-2018 bull run resistance of $39,500. And I'll show you guys actually where that is and where I'm judging that line from. Kind of just ramble on without even getting my charts here going for you guys. But let's see that line. So that's that orange line. That's 39.5, the resistance that we broke. And you can see that was the bull run top high for 2017-2018. And it was also the support a couple of times, and the breakdown and the retest and confirmation of said breakdown in 2022 after we rolled over the top. So, really significant line. That's what I don't want to lose right now. And if we do lose that line, I mean, the potential of seeing 30k to 28k is fair and on the table, to be unbiased. But we've got some strength. We did build a lot of support at that range. I don't think sub 28 is going to happen anymore. I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't like to make predictions, but I don't think sub 28 is coming anymore before the halving. I don't think they have much of a choice but to keep pushing this thing up. So, let's just we just hang on. We just hang on. We just hang on. But I mean, here's a retest of this resistance right here, and it's trying to get back up. 41.6 with a low of $40,300 today. But I mean, I don't think this thing is going to stop trickling down. Like I said, we did start to roll over into some distribution patterns here, and retesting this orange line, which is now coming in at 38.8ish. 38.8ish, which is, that's nothing. DCA, keep DCA. And right now, like I said, the alts didn't even really take too much of a hit or a crash on this thing when this thing was coming down here. So I mean, it's really not all that bad, it's not all that bad. let's look at the half-hour chart, see if there's any trades. I'm not going to trade tonight. That's just not what I do. I like daytime trading myself. And yeah, this thing's just setting in lower lows, lower highs. So we got a little cooling off to do. 38.7 range is down here on that support line. This yellow line is going to be the top of the bearish pennant, the bullish pennant that we called here. And that's kind of where I'm going to be looking for support and possible re-entries on some longs. We're going to be trading some leverage here again on these lives. And we're up. Our trading account is up. We didn't put too much money over there on Femex to begin with, but we're up overall, and that's what we want to see. So we're going to keep at it, and we'll come into the halving and maybe place some nice low leverage longs. If you guys want to take some risk with us, we're gonna go for it. Try to make some money this bull run. That's what this is all about. Do smash the like, maybe share the vid, do whatever. Those things. I don't want to be self-serving. I really fucking don't. I don't care about the money. I'm not gonna go crazy with the shares and the likes and all that. Like, it's just about raising awareness of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin betters our future. It betters everybody's future, even the ones that aren't paying attention. It is going to better their future, right? It's going to help all kinds of social structures and social programs and education and all kinds of different things. The healthcare system, you name it. It's going to be a good place for seniors' pensions, veterans' pensions. All kinds of first responder services pensions. All these things that are really at high risk of blowing up soon can be helped and fixed with Bitcoin. And innovation in Bitcoin means the betterment of all of us too. Like, if somebody does something that betters humanity, like Elon is trying to do with electric vehicles and this and that and his adventures and things, but if he's all in Bitcoin and his business innovates something great for the future, and that gets built on Bitcoin, then we all benefit from somebody that was only trying to better humanity and build their business on the blockchain and around Bitcoin. Because if it makes billions and billions of dollars, but at that time it's not going to be measured in dollars, I really believe that we're going to be just counting things in Satoshis and Bitcoins. And that's just the way that it's going to be. Right now it seems so volatile because it is measured against the dollar, which is failing, right? And the reason that these things pump up so much is because the dollar is failing. People know that. The dollar ain't worth shit. And these markets wouldn't have volatility if that wasn't the case. If the dollar was worth something, people wouldn't bother putting their money anywhere else. It ain't worth shit. Ain't worth shit. Got any questions? Who's in the chat? What do you want to see? What do you want to trade? Anybody looking at any projects? Who is in here? I know I've been looking at some of the top 50s, some of the basic ones that I had a little bit of knowledge about in the last run is kind of what I'm looking at again. Things that did me well: ADA, Polygon, Solana. I wish I grabbed Solana again at the bottom because that was a quick and easy pump, but I don't know if I'll go into Solana again just based on what happened. They showed a lot of their kind of tokens and stuff like they had basically insider trading, and a lot of venture capitalists were able to scoop up a huge amount of Polygon before it was released to the public, and that was a big screw around. So we don't like stuff like that. We want to go for good projects. We want to support people that are actually trying to support people. Crypto is about us coming together and stop crying about all the fucking bullshit. This is just about us coming together, because at the end of the day, if everybody's finances and everything was sorted out and they were healthy and their family was healthy and everybody was taken care of, they wouldn't have anything to go into the streets and fucking bitch and cry about, right? And that's what Bitcoin's going to do. It's really going to settle that out, and it's going to take maybe a couple of generations, maybe a few generations. But if you're watching now and you're picking it up now, this is one of those things that grows like the internet. This is the first kind of decentralized ability of money that people have had, and the internet obviously was kind of the start of this kind of freedom for the people, and email and in as far as communications went and things like that. But with money, you always had to have a third party get involved and send you from one place to another. And if the other party that you were trying to send the currency to wasn't in the same bank, they'd have to involve another bank, and there'd be all these middlemen for your transaction to happen. Well, Bitcoin we don't have that. There's no fees. There's no middleman. There's no nothing. So we now have this email communication of money peer to peer that we can use without fat cats getting their cut when we try to send it from A to B, because that's just silly. Don't you think? Don't you think? Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. It's my money. It's my money. CoinMarketCap. What's going on? Greed. So greed index has come down. That's good. We were at 80%, which is crazy. I don't even think I've seen it that high. Massive bull run. It's funny that this has like been one of the best years for trading ever, even though everyone's like, oh, crypto's dead. Is crypto dead? Blah, blah, blah. It's like no one was paying attention. Everyone was watching the news cycles and running around in the streets doing this and that. And they were stacking Bitcoin. They were stacking freaking Bitcoin. The U.S. government now, I think, is the third largest holder of Bitcoin. Grayscale. This blew me away. I didn't realize that Grayscale in the United States is the second largest holder of Bitcoin, next to Satoshi Nakamoto, which is just crazy. So these guys, and it's like, don't worry about them. Just because they got that much doesn't mean you shouldn't get into it. Who gives a shit? They still have nothing in comparison. And it's so valuable that it doesn't make sense for them to dump their bags, because then all the crypto people just buy it all up, and they've got to buy it up more expensive. They're going to be coming after it one way or another. And I promise you that anything that they've got under 40K, 30K, they're not going to let it go. It just doesn't make any sense. These people run on much longer time frames than we do. They're not looking at the fucking daily. I bet you they're not even looking at the weeklies, maybe the monthly, but more so the 3-month, the 12-month, and the 5-year candles. Right? That's how these guys make money. That's how they've been doing it for a long time. There's language in these candles. I promise you there's language in these candles. They say that millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. There's language in these candles. These candles actually follow lunar cycles. Makes you sound a little crazy here, but they really fucking do. They follow news cycles. They follow lunar cycles. And there's language inside of these candles, and more so the larger time frames than the smaller ones. So yeah, we can have some fun and play around, speculate in these lower time frames. But at the grand scheme of things, when you DCA, the bigger picture, this thing goes up and to the right always, and it always will. Bitcoin is going to see massive growth, 160% already in this year is just insane. I think you can work it out to like 100% a year in gains over the last 10 years or 13 years or something like that. But it's insane amount of gains, and this may be the last bull run where we see real high spiking exponential growth before this thing just trades sideways for the next 20 years. Right? And sideways could be, 30, 40, 50, as high as a $70,000 range. Like, we don't know, right? We just dropped from 70K to 15. We're already back up in the 44. So, price just reflects. Market cap divided by supply. Money is flowing into the best store of value in human history, not out. Yeah, best store of value. But I mean, people are always going to speculate and trade, and there's tons of money, and there's tons of money to be made in some of the smaller, market cap coins and tokens, even stocks and companies, publicly traded companies, things like that, like Netflix doing 196% in 2 years. I'm going to keep bringing that up because it's just fucking crazy. It's like 18 months or something like that. Netflix had a crash and hit bottom, and then 196% return after that. So they're just looking at the top 50 here. You can see Polkadot still up 22% for the week. Avalanche still up 83% for the week. Cardano still up 38% for the week. So it's like people say crash and everybody's out there, talking this, that, and it's really not. And it's like, we're going to get you with the thumbnails. Unfortunately, I am going to get people with the thumbnails, but this is not a crash. 59% immutable IMX. So I've been looking at, here's Crow, 6.2% this week. And actually, let's go look at Crow, because I feel like this is one that looks pretty good. I do want to get some Crow. So there's a few different things, categories that I like to, or would want to hold coming into this bull run. And it's going to be Bitcoin and a few layer ones. But then I'm going to want a bit of gaming tokens, heavy on the gaming tokens, because I really feel like they're going to make some money. But also a couple of exchanges. These exchanges, especially something like crypto.com, which is what Kronos is. So Crow is their native token, and I believe that this exchange is going to do well. We got crypto.com Stadium and all this stuff, and I think they're going to continue to market and pump into this bull run. So, you know, buying something like Crow is not a bad idea. So we bottomed out on Crow underneath 5 cents here. Looks like they 4 cents, already back to 10 cents. So they've had 110% gain here on Crow as well already, 110% gain, and I think they topped out around $1 in the last bull run. 90 cents. What do we got here? 89 cents. So 90 cents exactly. So we hit the floor of 4 cents. It's already hit 110% coming into this bull run. You know, I'm not going to say that it's going to give you a 10x, but I'm not going to say that it's not going to give you a 10x either. So I'm going to have a couple of the top 50. I'm going to have my Bitcoin. I'm going to have a handful of gaming tokens because I really believe they're going to push. And then I'm going to take 2 exchange tokens, my trading exchange, my fiat on-ramp. So that's Kronos. And then Femex. I got some of the PT as well because it stakes for a stupid amount of money, but I don't think I'll hold that forever, but that's all right. Just for the bull run. I wonder if Wealthsimple will get a token. Wealthsimple, yeah, it'd be funny if they got a token. You can actually access quite a bit. Wealthsimple's pretty good, but their fees, I just don't, why are you charging me so much in fees? I don't understand that. So with crypto.com, if you're here in Canada or whatever, but it's zero in fees, load your money in through crypto.com instead of Wealthsimple. Wealthsimple is great because, you know, I'm getting my 1% back in Bitcoin. I can see all my savings. It's all right there. I can DCA. I mean, I can do that in crypto.com, I guess, too. So I don't know. I just don't really know who to trust for the bull run. I don't want to keep anything or too much on exchanges. Got to have that cold storage. Always have that cold storage, especially for your Bitcoin. That's my big DCA. And every month I put some of that Bitcoin into cold storage because that's where it should go. So the fees are nothing. Yeah, but they're fees. I'd rather go to crypto somewhere where I pay 0 fees rather than 2%. Would you rather pay 2% or 0%? I'd rather pay 0% because I'm cheap like that. I never gambled either, and it's funny because crypto's like, oh, what are you gambling in crypto for? It's like, no, crypto is different. It's not gambling. I can make educated guesses when I trade based on strategy. And that, I mean, I guess you can figure out some stuff like that for gambling, but it's not like I'm just going and playing a slot machine or anything like that. They got to pay the bills too. Yeah, they got to pay the bills. Yeah, well, why? Yeah, but crypto.com isn't charging me, so I can just use them and not pay somebody's bills because they're not asking me to. So make it make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make dollars. If I'm giving my dollars to them, it doesn't make sense. And that just doesn't make dollars. So fuck all that shit. Pay as little fees as possible. Pay as little fees as possible. That's what this whole game is about, is the middleman getting less and less from us because money isn't even real. It's bullshit. It's a gimmick. Bullshit. Medium of exchange for goods and services. But it's like, who decided that who was going to be in control and make it worthless for the rest of us to fight over? BS. So I go where they take less. I go where they take less. That's it. Daily. Yeah, it's calm. Calm as the breeze right now. And that's not even that bad, man. We just had 7 weeks of green. Let's look at the weekly chart here. 7 weeks of green. Yeah, it's a little messy in there, but I'm going to keep that pattern in there for a while. 7 weeks of green, and then we got this little bit of hoop-de-la here. It's not even that bad. Not even that bad. What we don't want to see, though, is this just become a lower high for this. Boom. If it busts through this line, that's Danger Bay. And that line is around, yeah, that's, 30,000. If we're getting underneath 30,000 now, we are going to be breaking a 10-year long trend. And that would be some sketchy business. So we got into this trend, 10 years ago. April of 2013 is when we started to establish this trend. So we caught our support here, a couple bounces of support, resistance, And then again here, a little wick out, but that was obviously the high. We tested it as resistance, came back in again, tested as support. We've tested it as support this year at the bottom. Sorry, I guess it was the end of 2022, but we've tested it again, and then really close again here in the middle of the year. So I mean, if we lose this line here at 39.5, $38,000, top $38,000, that next line of support is going to be coming around between $28,000 and $30,000 on this orange ascending channel, and that would be Danger Bay. But with the way things are going, I just can't see that. Just can't see that. We're hoping to get up here into old exploratory territory, exploratory zones. That's what we want to see. It's a nice breakout and retest. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Breakout and retest. Yep. Breakout, retest. But I mean, really, this thing's just been trading sideways for a couple of years here. So this has found a range. We want to break that. We want to break that through this halving and get up into the old new zones, up above 70K. But watch out. They are going to be playing some tricky games. They're going to super volatile. As soon as we get above that, it'll get super volatile and be wicking all over the damn place as people try to sort it out. So that's why you want to DCA and be heavy in there before the halving, so you can let all them sort that out. As soon as it breaks over 70K, this thing's going to go crazy. Gonna go crazy. But I think I'll just wrap it up. These are the daily wrap-ups, the daily close. Things look good. We'll be back 8 a.m. tomorrow. Hang in there. DCA, look away, and we will catch you in the next one. Go fuck yourself. Bye.